Hello and welcome to Between the Studs. I'm your host Mark. Today I'm joined by the owner of Atlanta Brick Co. and Orlando Brick Co. too. You're the United
Correct.
Brick Co. CEO.
Yes.
Chris, who you've seen before on many episodes. But we're talking about Orlando Brick Co. and all the processes and challenges that we faced along the way. It's been a while since we first started talking about this project, but Chris, has it been about a year since our initial announcement? Is that correct? Like, I haven't looked at the dates, but it's getting there, right?
Our official announcement that we were doing it was January 1st of 2023.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's been a year and about 3 months.
Couple months, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that. That is a little bit of time, but at the same time, on a galactic scale, it's not that long a period of time. If you have a perspective.
If you think about it.
Yeah, so it's still close enough. And one thing I was thinking about was kind of excitement versus delays. Was it just like we were just so excited to talk about this ongoing process, we just kind of talked about it early, or is it actually delays outside of our control that have kind of slowed it down to a little bit longer than our expectations?
Yeah, it's really delays outside of our control.
Yeah.
We thought it would take 2 to 3 months to open up, which, was a little bit of an understatement because it truly would have taken 3 to 4 months because
with no interruptions.
All the building we had to do. We had to build pick-a-brick tables, build-a-fig tables, 100 glass cases, which was a lot of work.
It's days and days.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of great help doing it. But Joey is our store manager down there, Joey Marino, and he is tired of building glass cases.
He's probably got it memorized, right? He doesn't need to look at the instructions. So
yeah. We had a couple extras, and we sold them to someone else who wanted some, and he's been calling me all day because he's assembling those cases and
he has no idea.
Hey, how do you do this, how do you do that? And it's I know without just from memory, without looking at it,
having gone down there,
like, why can't you figure this out? I put 100 of these together.
After the first dozen probably gets easier, right? I know that we at the store got a few new ones here, and I think it was Vogan and Garrett were working on it, and they were kind of the learning curve is pretty extreme. The next question I had for you, Chris, was we are talking about the actual dates kind of for opening, and we do plan on a soft opening around April 1st. That's what we're thinking is going to be. That's when we're actually able to go in and shop. We're trying to keep it kind of low-key, so if you're planning a big trip, maybe wait till our grand opening sometime in June. But what is the difference between a soft opening and a grand opening for people who are watching this? What's the
that's
specifics
a really
there?
good question. Okay, so for Atlanta Brick Co., we never had a grand opening.
Not really, no.
We just had a soft opening. And it was because we weren't a big deal at all. People knew us from conventions and selling on Bricklink. Yeah. But we just opened our doors and said, okay, we're open. No ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't, who cares?
Exactly. We're open now. It's a fact.
It's just a store in a warehouse type building.
Yeah.
But Orlando is actually going to be a giant store.
It's going to start off big.
Yeah. You could put a few Lego stores inside Orlando Brick Co. and you still wouldn't have it because we've got huge displays in there that you're not going to see anywhere else. They are all one-of-a-kind items. But the difference between a soft opening and grand opening is this is our opportunity to just kind of open the doors, get some customers in, and train our staff on how to do everything.
Handle day-to-day processes, right?
The cash register, checking people out, our POS, point of sale.
Do trades.
How to do trades, how to buy Lego, make sure everything's working well before we have a really big crowd. So you don't want your grand opening to be day one.
Yeah.
So that's what a soft opening is. And so the grand opening hopefully will be June 1st, if everything works out well. We should have some big names there for the grand opening. June 1st is the weekend before Brick Fan Expo Orlando, which is the same gentleman who puts on Atlanta BrickCon. And if you have heard anything about Atlanta BrickCon, you know that it was awesome this year.
One of the coolest conventions around.
You'll be down there. There will be a lot of people going down for Orlando Brick Fan Expo. So if you are coming from out of town for that, it would behoove you to plan your trip early and come for the grand opening of Orlando Brick Co.
Exactly.
We're going to have some exclusive sets, some exclusive items, and probably some giveaways and activities.
Big event. It'll be worth being there for sure.
So we'll be, we're attached to a brewery down there, which is our business partners. So they're like our sister company down there. And they do trivia, bingo. They do all kinds of fun stuff during the week. We may tie it in with them and do some events over there, like Lego trivia.
That would be fun.
To that effect. Yeah. I know they're already working on a beer.
Over there. That's great. A Lego themed beer. Yeah, that's awesome. I wonder what that will taste like. That'll be interesting.
Lego, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. ABS Classic. Yeah. But yeah, one question I had for you. We talked about the cases already and some of the big displays and stuff. But for you, Chris, when you've been down there quite a bit, especially lately, setting up stuff. What were some of the things that were easier than you expected, and what were some of the things that were more difficult than expected as far as logistics, moving, constructing things down there?
I guess getting everything down there was a lot easier than I expected. I took care of basically all of our sets, so I brought probably 500 spare sealed sets down from Atlanta,
just from the storage
that were sealed, and then probably about 500 built sets down there, which is a lot. We have a cargo van. We bought a cargo van about 3 years ago, right before we found out we were opening an Orlando store. So it worked out really well. It's a high top, huge cargo van. We can fit a lot in it. And every time I went down there, I would just bring another load. Yeah. And so it really just stacked up. And I was concerned we wouldn't have enough product to fill up this massive store.
That is a concern. Yeah.
So here we are a year later, and we're setting everything up in the store finally, and it's too much stuff.
You got more than enough.
I started bringing things back. Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I was really worried we wouldn't have enough stuff down there.
For sure.
But I think you've seen the Star Wars section.
Yeah.
M&R was in there last week setting up and organizing it, and it rivals our Star Wars section here in Atlanta. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome.
And that's saying something because we have thousands of figures and sets over there in that whole section, so that's awesome. Yeah. But, so was it glass cases that were really a pain to construct, or was there anything else that was really challenging?
Glass cases were challenging because we got a whole container of them. We needed 100 for the store, and we probably got 150 in total. Yeah. We got some extras just to fill out the whole container. And we had to, we got a good deal on them because we bought them directly from the manufacturer. No one in the United States could supply us with that many glass cases.
Wow.
Number one, there is a demand for them because they're the same cases that the vape shops use.
Yeah, and a lot of other just store places. Yeah,
jewelry stores, stuff like that. And, the vape shops are just opening up left and right. Yeah. So there's a huge demand for these glass cases now. The prices tripled over the past few years. I've been buying these cases for 10 years now, and I usually buy them one or two at a time because they're relatively expensive. Yeah. We have over 100 here in Atlanta now, so getting the cases in, paying the import duties, lining up the logistics of it all was a lot. Yeah. And it cost a lot of money, but we still saved about 50% by doing it that way. Wow. So it was worth the time. And I had a little experience in shipping, so that helped out a lot. Yeah. So we saved a fortune by doing that.
That's fantastic. Well, so challenging, but good. So.
Yeah. The biggest challenge that we have had is the build-out. I mean, that store is in a new strip mall. Yeah. It's kind of a cookie-cutter space. But the city down there is very nitpicky with what they want things to look like. So we have a firewall down there that separates our space from the brewery. And where the whole holdup has been is that that firewall, it's just a wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to you and I, it just looks like a regular old wall.
Yeah.
It had 1/2-inch sheetrock instead of 3/4-inch sheetrock.
Yeah, so thicker sheetrock.
So they had to tear down the whole wall and rebuild the wall. And in that, we came into all these other problems. The mop sink, they came in to inspect it, and they said, oh, the mop sink's got to be moved 2 feet to the right.
Yeah.
And number one, we have a carpeted floor. We don't need a mop sink.
Mm-hmm.
But they said we did need a mop sink. So we had to have a mop sink, and it wasn't in the right spot. So it took like 2 months to move the mop sink over 2 feet. And it just very...
cascading issues from there,
very silly little issues that would put a regular business out of business.
Yeah.
But fortunately, the brewery was already leasing that space, and we already had the product, so we weren't really out as much money as a normal business would have been.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't disastrous, but it wasn't great.
Any typical business probably would have gone out of business trying to get open in that spot.
That's crazy. Awful. Well, obstacles overcome. We're now almost there. Horizons in sight. It's great. One thing we kind of touched on just a little bit earlier was there are a lot of Lego Masters props and signs and such down there. What was it like to get those in there? Why are they there instead of a few being in Atlanta? What's the logistics behind that? And what are some of your favorites there?
Well, the Lego Masters props we got in here. The big signs. These signs are 10 feet wide. They're 6 feet tall. They're as tall as... One of them's 8 feet tall.
It's huge.
And for one, we couldn't display a lot of them because they hadn't come out yet in that episode.
Yep.
So we had to keep it a secret, and we had it in a storage locker. We don't have any place to put these things, which is sad because we love Lego Masters. So the store in Orlando worked out really well because they have these huge high ceilings. They've got a roll-up door in the back. We can get anything in.
Easy access,
So we got the signs down there. We had to rent some pretty big trucks to get them down there.
Wow. Yeah.
But we got them down there and then hung pretty much in a day. Our business partners down there that own the brewery are really handy guys. They can do anything. They could build a house from scratch. And they got those signs hung immediately. We also have the International Space Station.
Yes, the big satellite-looking thing.
What was that, season 3?
Yes, so first episode of season 3.
And that looks amazing.
It's all suspended up in the air. It's awesome.
We've got the pirate flag down there, and then we've got NASCAR sign down there. So put all those together, and the NASCAR represents Daytona, which is an hour away from our store.
Wow.
We have a pirate fort and a pirate flag down there. That represents Tampa Bay and the pirate culture.
Yeah,
right?
Florida.
It was the Caribbean. And then we've got the space station, which represents Cape Canaveral, which is an hour.
Yeah.
No, 1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour away. Yeah.
Right in the middle there. That's awesome.
It is. Yeah, it's all close, and it's very... makes a lot of sense to have those things there. Everybody that
meaningful
has come in to see a tour, they look up at the International Space Station. They're like, "Oh, it's the ISS," and I'm like, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know what the ISS looks like. I don't think I've ever actually seen it.
I wouldn't know what it's shaped like either. No, yeah.
But being down in Florida, they're all space junkies because that's where the space launches.
You can see the rockets launching off at a certain time of day. Yeah, it's crazy.
So we have a lot of homegrown Florida attractions to see in the store itself.
For sure, yeah. Let's see. Next question. We talked about Lego Masters props. So this is something that was baffling to me, just trying to comprehend the scale of it. But Atlanta Brick Co. is a big Lego store on its own. And we have our very large inventory on Shopify and using our website. And it's a lot to keep track of. But we also have Orlando Brick Co. still part of that system. Is that correct? Yeah. And what is that? What are some of the growing pains we've had there, and what is the long-term goal for that situation?
So Shopify is an awesome e-commerce platform, and that's how they got big. They're the second largest e-commerce platform in the world.
Yeah.
Amazon being number one, Shopify number 2, eBay number 3.
Wow.
So they're above eBay. You just don't hear of Shopify as much because they focus on the small businesses, which is us.
Yeah.
So you hear Atlanta Brick Co., but Atlanta Brick Co. is actually powered by Shopify.
That's the operating system, yeah.
Whereas with Amazon and eBay, you're buying from eBay, you're buying from Amazon. When you buy something on Amazon, do you know who you're buying from?
No.
No clue.
It just says Amazon or eBay.
Kind of the same thing with eBay. You know, oh, I got it on eBay. Oh, I got it on Amazon. You don't say, oh, I got it on Shopify.
Yeah, you get it from the store.
You get it from the store. So what we like about Shopify is it promotes small businesses. Whereas from what I hear, the horror stories, Amazon puts small businesses out of business because of their fees, and they make it impossible to compete with.
Unfriendly situation for business,
So Shopify is a great e-commerce platform. They're not the best point of sale platform for storefronts because they are an e-commerce platform.
Yeah.
So all of our products in our store are on our website, and they're in the store. You ring them up at the register, they automatically come off our website.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah. The Shopify works really well in that we have added an Orlando location. So if someone were to place an order, they don't know it, but we could ship that order from Orlando, or we could ship it from Atlanta. We could also ship it from a warehouse that we have.
Yeah.
So it could come from multiple places, and the customer may receive multiple packages, but it's a seamless transaction. So we were already set up to be able to do that.
Yeah.
With multiple locations because of our warehouse. So it has worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
We did have somebody in the store today ask, hey, you have a Birds of Paradise on your website. I don't see that in the store. It's in Orlando.
Yeah.
So
sometimes that specification isn't there, but if you're shopping online, it's seamless, right?
There's going to be some hiccups.
Yeah.
But that's not the end of the world.
Yeah. They could theoretically just buy it and order it and have it shipped. Yeah. So, well, that's good that Shopify made that feasible, because that is kind of crazy to think of 2 different states, 2 different inventories, keeping track of all that, selling those items online, shipping from different locations is crazy. So
now, once we open and start making sales in Orlando, then there's a new daunting task of paying sales tax in that state.
Yeah, multiple states, yeah.
Now we're going to have to start paying sales tax in Florida, and it's going to be
mathematical craziness, So, well, another challenge to overcome, of course. But one of the things that we've touched on a couple times already, in that, like, the size comparison between Orlando and Atlanta here. Atlanta's already, we call ourselves the world's largest selection of Lego. And I think that's pretty valid claim. We have thousands of sets, minifigures, just tons of stuff to choose from. Orlando, you said, is already starting out as a massive store. Is it going to be slightly larger? That's the word on the street I've heard.
It looks larger when you walk in.
Yeah.
However, we can't fit as much product in Orlando as we can fit in Atlanta.
Interesting.
And that is because we have more wall space here in Atlanta.
Gotcha.
So we may be closed in. And, of course, we have lower ceilings, but we go all the ways to the ceiling with our product.
Yeah, the sets are all the way up to
Yeah, so in Orlando, we're going high with the product, but there's only so high you can go.
Realistically reach it,
and
right?
be safe, right? So the signs are way up there, but the product can't be way up there because we're going to have to be able to get that back down eventually.
Yeah.
And we don't want our employees climbing huge ladders.
That would be unsafe on a regular basis.
Step stool is fine, like we have here. Big old ladder, no, we don't want that.
Yeah.
So it is wide open there. The ceilings are huge. They're just like 20-foot ceilings, like warehouse ceilings with these massive structures, Lego structures and models up. It looks amazing, and it's going to feel like it is bigger or the same size as Atlanta.
Yeah.
It is the same square footage.
Nice. So it's huge.
Yeah.
But
however, as far as how much individual product goes, I don't think we're going to be able to fit as much down there, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't know it.
Just logistically, it'll be not quite as dense as Atlanta is.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we have every single little nook and cranny filled with Lego.
After years and years of adding things and carefully rearranging, yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever be the biggest square footage Lego store.
No, Sydney and other real Lego stores are getting bigger than that. Yeah, so.
There's going to be plenty of square footage wise bigger stores, but they won't have as much product. We will have more product.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, good to know. It clears up some things that I had kind of imagined. I've never been to the Orlando location. I'm hoping to go in June when the grand opening happens. But size comparison is pretty interesting. We also talked about this a little bit before the video, but and talking about what's near Orlando. What are some of the things to kind of expect in that Florida area? We already mentioned a couple of them, but like Atlanta here, we're south of the airport, and then that's about it. It's just kind of suburbs of Atlanta. But in Florida, what are some of the things around it? What's the location like? Is it easy to access the building? What are some of those things that come to mind?
All right, that's a really good question because I've spent my whole life going to Florida on vacation.
Yeah.
And you live there.
I live there and went on vacation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And every time we go to the water. That's what we're in Florida for. I mean, there's a good chance if you go to Florida, you're going to be on the water.
Want to see the beach?
Right?
Yeah.
So we go for the beach, we go for the water. That's pretty much it. So I've always looked at Orlando. I'm not like I like amusement parks, but I don't like the crowds.
Yeah.
So I've looked at Orlando and been like, I don't really like Orlando. I like the water parts, right?
You're on the coast.
So we go to Florida all the time. Avoid Orlando. And so when we started opening our store in Orlando, I was like, whatever. I have fallen in love with it. There's so much to do there. So we have a Topgolf, which is the next exit up from us. So if you look at Orlando, there's downtown Orlando, which is like a city, where the traffic is not nearly as bad as Atlanta. So that's good.
That is good, yeah.
So you got the city of Orlando. There's a big sports arena, indoor sports arena, where they play hockey, where the Magic plays basketball, and they have awesome concerts every single week.
So a fantastic venue, yeah.
Nicki Minaj is playing tonight.
Yeah, there you go. It's a big name.
So they always have something going on in downtown Orlando. We are 15 minutes north of downtown Orlando, our store.
Yeah.
In comparison to Atlanta, we are 45 minutes south of downtown Atlanta.
Which is big and hard to get to because traffic.
So that puts us in a much more populated area down in Orlando. So there's a higher population of people in that area. So because of that, I think our store there is going to be a lot busier.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a lot more stuff come in.
Yeah, more Lego fans.
So we're going to get some amazing trade-ins. Given our location and the population down there. Plus, if you think about it, you've got Legoland down there.
Not too far away, so.
And you've got the Master Model Building warehouse down there. You've got Disney Springs, Disney, Universal Studios. There's always been neat Lego stuff happening down there. There's a lot of Bricklink sellers. You've got a lot of bricks and minifigures down there. So there's just a lot of Lego everywhere in Florida. So I think we're going to see awesome stuff come in.
Yeah.
We get awesome stuff in here in Atlanta.
We do quite well here, So you think there's more potential for trades and
more potential
sales,
for trades,
and more people interested in Lego probably, even just by the numbers.
So hopefully we do really well down there, and when our lease runs up in 4 years, we can expand and have twice the space somewhere. So we're 15 minutes north of Orlando. South of downtown Orlando, 15 minutes south, are the resorts. So that's where International Boulevard is. You got Disney, Universal, all that.
Yeah.
So we're 30 minutes north of the resorts.
Yeah. Still
on the
pretty
other
close.
side of Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we're an hour southwest of Daytona, which is huge.
Yeah.
And then also, and they have 2 Buc-ee's. In Daytona.
That's crazy.
A big deal. I think we're like 2 hours west of Jacksonville, 2 hours north of Miami. An hour and a half from Tampa.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really centrally located in Florida. So it's a great hub down there.
A lot of big cities. I think there's like 22 million people or more in Florida. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic.
So the location is great. Plus, we're right beside a brewery if you like drinking.
Exactly. That's a big plus for a lot of people. And the beach is not too far away no matter where you are in Florida. So
and about a mile down the road is a big toy store called Acme. It's a resale toy store. And they're huge. They have like 8,000 square feet, so they're like twice the size of us.
That's big. Yeah.
They just have everything in there: G.I. Joe, Star Wars, comic books, baseball cards.
So collectible stuff that we like.
A little bit of everything, yeah. So people come from all over to go to Acme, and they can also combine that trip with our store because we're only a mile down the road from them.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, location sounds fantastic.
It is
good.
Yeah.
We touched on this a little bit with Lego Masters and stuff, but I also want to talk about some of the things that are being built or worked on there as far as display models, because we have a few things here in Atlanta. We really aren't kind of equipped for that. We have Bricklanta, which is a lot of fun, and our members get to put figures in the city and stuff. Is there plans for a Bricklando down there? Are they working on I think there was a pirate scene being worked on for a while.
Don't know the name of it yet.
Yeah.
The city.
Yeah, of course.
But we do have it laid out, and we have a water table down there.
Yes.
And it's probably about 18 inches deep with water, and it's lined in bricks. So it
just looks like Lego.
Have water in it, and water will be flowing, so it'll be technically
filtered.
A lake, kind of. You got water coming in and water going out.
Yeah.
And we're going to have, on one end, we're going to have a pirate fort, which is the pirate fort that was in Lego Masters.
Yes, the landscape, yeah.
And then the inside of the water table, all that landscaping will have been from that same episode of Lego Masters.
So beachfront property, yeah. So.
Yeah, beachfront property. And then on both sides of the water table, you're going to have city streets with modular buildings. And then on the other end of the water table, you're going to have a big city.
Yeah.
So the city's just going to stretch all around the water in the middle, and we're going to have a train track running around the whole thing.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Very similar to Atlanta, we're going to have a button, and you push the button, and everything turns on.
Yeah.
So huge plans down there. It's going to be 3 times the size of our city here.
Yeah.
It's going to be 10 feet wide by 14 feet long.
That's huge.
That's a big investment in space.
And Lego, yeah, that's awesome.
So it better be good.
Yeah.
Right. Our pick-a-brick table is going to be the same size. It's going to be 16 feet long and 4 feet wide. That's the same size as our table here, which is great.
It's huge.
And then, of course, Build-A-Fig and all those really cool things that we have here.
Nice. So a lot of cool things to look forward to. Do we also have a Stark Expo? Are we clear to talk about that?
Oh yeah. So Stark Expo was in Iron Man, Captain America, and Spider-Man: No Way Home, and we have Stark Expo.
Yeah.
It's 9 feet by 9 feet square.
So a huge square.
We could not even get it in the door here. I was so excited to get it, I committed to buying it, and then had no idea what we were going to do with it.
Yeah, where was it going to go?
Like, wait, we can't even fit that in our doors here.
Our doors are too small, yeah.
So down there, they have the roll doors. We have a massive 10-foot by 6-foot Marvel sign down there.
Yeah.
That we hung up above our Marvel section. Or should I say we put our Marvel section below the Marvel sign?
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
And that was from the episode of Lego Masters with Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Chris Pratt?
I think so. It might have just been like from Marvel movies in general. But,
was Chris Pratt there for...
Might have been there for Jurassic
World.
Yeah.
You're right. They had a Jurassic World.
But he's also Star-Lord. So, I mean, that's a pretty big connection there.
Yeah,
so.
I think you're right. So, anyhow, it's from Lego Masters. Stark Expo is right beside it.
Yeah.
And it is an amazing photo opportunity to get this giant Marvel sign and Stark Expo right there.
That's so cool.
So... And to clarify, Stark Expo is not made out of Lego. It's a model that
little mini model
Howard Stark was supposed to have built like back in the 1950s, and it's kind of like the World's Fair, right?
Yeah.
And Tony Stark revived that.
Yeah,
So.
it's a lot of Iron Man legacy stuff happening there, so it's great. But lots of display models to look forward to when people visit this store. It's going to be very exciting. We mentioned M&R a couple times. Is he going to have a space in the store? Is that what's correct?
Yeah, so Ryan has one of the offices that's on the back end of the store. So it's behind that really expensive firewall that we put in.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have a studio down there similar to what we're in here with you can look in and see inside and everything.
Nice.
And he'll be using that to record things.
Very cool. Yeah.
All the details aren't worked out with Ryan yet on if you can see him. Is he going to have hours? Can you meet him?
Are there days when you can visit and kind of assume you'll see him there?
We'll get all that worked out.
Yeah.
But he'll be seen there a lot.
Yeah. There's a possibility you could see him there. We're not guaranteeing anything yet, but so you might see him working in his office. So that's pretty cool. Because he is one of the bigger YouTube channels around, especially in the Star Wars side of things. So we already touched on this a bit, but conventions. Orlando Brick Co. is going to be kind of taking over all the Florida conventions that are starting to rise up. I know there's like 3 or 4 now, right?
There are a lot,
yeah.
So we did the Brick Convention down there a year ago.
Yes.
And at the Brick Convention, we were telling everybody, hey, we're going to open up next month.
Or soon. Yeah.
So a year later, we did the Brick Convention last weekend. I was down there, and we used it as a training opportunity for our employees down there.
You're using a register.
Joey, Lane, Taylor, they all helped with the convention, and they got good training. And we were promising people that we are opening April 1st. And it's going to take everything we got. Like, I'm bringing Garrett down there on Monday. We're going to be down there
training
Monday through Friday, working in the store and training and working to get them open.
Yeah. So exciting.
Yeah.
But now that we have a more firm date in mind, it's very exciting to know that. But conventions.
And Ed is on his way down there today.
Wow, yeah.
To work with them over the weekend. They're doing a buying, selling, trading event where we can't sell anything.
Yeah. Not yet, but
it's funny because we brought the product down there a year ago, and since then the prices have changed on a lot of that product.
Yeah.
So now we've got to go back through and we have to inventory everything and update the prices.
Yeah, all the figures and sets and.
Most of it hasn't, but a lot of it has.
Yeah.
When you bring thousands and thousands of items down there, things are guaranteed to have changed prices.
We have to check the prices on everything here pretty regularly here at Orlando Brick Co. So Orlando has a little catch up to do in that regard, right? So
So Ed'll be down there this weekend. They're doing that buying and trading event.
Yes.
We have like over 50 forms filled out already.
So a lot of people showing up for that. Yeah.
And we actually don't have room in the store for any more product.
It's just going to get stored for now, right?
But, we'll make it fit somewhere.
Yeah.
Just like we do here.
Rearrange it a little bit and it'll all fit, right?
Somebody will bring in 200 sets to trade in, and the next day you don't see it.
We just squeeze them in there,
Squeeze them in every nook and cranny.
That's great.
Yeah.
We talked about Ed a couple times and what a recognizable character he is at Atlanta. But who are some of the recognizable characters that we're going to see down there? We mentioned kind of the brewery owners. We mentioned Joey. Yeah. Who are we going to expect to see in Orlando? Who should they be asking for when they arrive?
So Brett's one of the brewery owners,
yes.
And he's also the CEO of Orlando Brick Company.
Gotcha.
So he'll be the go-to guy for anything, any problem. He's the problem solver. Any problems that come up, he's going to be the go-to guy. And he's a real character himself.
Yeah.
The brewery has a social media channel, and they do a lot of goofy stuff because that's what people want to see, I guess, on social media.
We do too, and our own TikTok and stuff. But yes,
and they get Brett to do all that stuff.
That's great. Yeah.
He's a real character. He's a musician, actor, very talented.
That's great.
So, and then Joey is our store manager. Joey is graduating from UCF this year, which is another location thing.
Yeah,
UCF is 20 minutes away from our store. It's the largest college in the world.
Yeah.
University of Central Florida.
It's huge,
and there's also lots of other colleges in that area.
Yeah, within a few hours' drive, yeah.
The employees we've had applying, we're not even advertising that we're hiring, and we've gotten tons of qualifications, and they're good, knowledgeable Lego people.
Yeah.
So the cast of characters is going to be great down there.
Mm-hmm.
On top of Brett and Joey, we've got Lane,
Mm-hmm.
who used to work for Disney. He's a big Lego fan, very knowledgeable. We also have, he's going to be an assistant manager. We've got Taylor, he's an artist.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be working there a lot. Gannon, he's a thespian,
Yep.
and he'll be working there a lot. And everybody is an expert at something.
They all have a couple themes that
Yeah.
they like. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Rachel is going to be working there a lot. She's
Mm-hmm.
a Harry Potter fan. Gannon is all the classic Lego themes.
Nice. Yeah.
We've got a Bionicle guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Will we see Flounder?
Flounder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flounder will be around a lot, I hope, and Grumpy J will be around a
Mm-hmm.
lot. They've both helped out a lot with volunteering, which is important because we've been spending money for a year down there, and we haven't made any money yet.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have somebody like Flounder and Grumpy J volunteering, they do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Grumpy J was there last week when I was down there, and we had all these sets that we brought down that fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
He fixed like everything.
Wow.
That day, he just next set,
Just knocking them out.
Yeah, he's great, and
That's awesome.
Flounder does the same thing. He brings home sets and gets them put together like immediately. We have a Death Star 2 down there,
Yeah.
built that
Nice.
Flounder brought home and threw it together in like a day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And a cool project too. I mean, that's a good set.
Oh,
so.
yeah. And it looks awesome down there.
Mhm.
We have a lot of UCS sets built.
Nice. Lots of impressive models to purchase, not just look at. So.
When anyone walks in that door on April 1st, they're going to see some really, really nice sets for sale.
It's going to be worth checking out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That leads to my next question is OBC has its own YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram page. Go follow it if you haven't already. But what are some of we had this question on our last live stream was, what is OBC going to be doing? Do we have any idea as far as live streams, content? Obviously, fun content, we'll be seeing shorts and stuff for sure, but any kind of plans for what they want to do for videos?
Well, we want them to be different from us. We want them to do their own thing, their own homegrown thing.
Yeah, whatever they feel like.
But so far, all they're doing is copying us.
I mean, yeah. The store itself is...
So they're doing their own joy building on Wednesday nights. Hopefully they'll do their own news channel. They'll do, a lot of shorts probably showing off what's coming in the door.
Maybe even some store tours or something,
Some
too.
store tours, yeah. So they will do all the things that work for us that people like to watch, and then hopefully come up with some new ideas.
For sure, yeah. So we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing content, especially for those of us like us in Atlanta who can't visit all the time and want to see what's going on in Orlando. So that's fun. We already covered this question, so I'm going to skip that one there. We're expecting a lot of Lego trade and Lego sales down there, so that's great. We're talking about the grand opening the soft opening, April 1st, grand opening in June. When that grand opening arrives, can we expect any Orlando Brick Co. exclusive merch to purchase, like sets?
So for the grand opening, we'll have the beer available over at the brewery.
Yep.
Which is going to be really cool. We're going to have they'll have a label on it and everything.
Yeah, custom made.
It's going to sell out. They usually sell out of their popular beers right away. I think it'll sell out that week. We're going to have an exclusive t-shirt available. They do have all their own t-shirts down there.
Florida-based.
With the Orlando Brick Co. logo on them. And then we're coming out with a really, really good exclusive building kit.
Yes.
Daniel's working on designing that right now.
Very cool.
His last one was really popular, the Atlanta Skyline.
That one was fun.
For Atlanta BrickCon.
Yes.
It sold out right away that week. And this one's going to be even better, I think.
Yeah, but probably a limited exclusive for the grand opening, right? Yeah.
And then we'll be doing things like Orlando Brick Co. minifigure torsos and stuff like that.
Yeah, its own brand of content stuff. That's looking forward to that. And for those who are either visiting in person or shopping online, hopefully they can catch one of those exclusive kits, t-shirts,
Yeah.
beer, all that stuff to look forward to. We also mentioned a little bit with like M&R is going to have his own office back there, but are we expecting to see like a studio space for building or filming down there? We already see some things for Wednesday of the Joy building.
So their space in the store, their studio space, is very similar to ours. They have a window you look in and you see it. It's it's about the same total space.
Yeah.
But this is 2 rooms and theirs is all one, so it looks
That's
a little
nice.
bigger,
Yeah.
but it's not actually. And then over at our off-site warehouse down there, which is nearby, we have a building studio which has been shown off a few times with Acro Mills cases full of brick.
Yes.
And we'll be doing a lot of commission building down there, and that warehouse is going to hold all of our overflow product.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of big things that are going to be coming out of Orlando.
Nice.
And we have room for big things down there.
Exactly. The facility to do these kind of larger-than-life projects. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's all the questions I had on my list. Chris, is there anything else you wanted to mention before we kind of reiterate some of the details? So.
I guess just retouching on the conventions, because Brick Fan Expo is kind of who we're going with for most of our Florida conventions. They do have the Tampa one, which will be in August.
Yeah.
They've got Jacksonville, which will be mid-May. They've got Orlando, which is going to be the beginning of June.
Yeah, so a couple... this summer.
Yeah,
so.
Actually right the week before Brickworld, Chicago. In fact, we may even not go to Chicago. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
It's a lot of time and investment to get up there, so
because we'd have to be going there from Orlando.
Driving,
so that doubles the journey. And it's like, do we really want to do
That's
that?
a long tour of duty for conventions,
Yeah, we'll see. And then... I feel like there was one more down there. There's nothing in Miami that we're doing. Oh, and then the Brick Convention we'll be doing every March down there.
Yeah, that happened recently. So
that happened in I always get the pronunciation wrong. I try to pronounce it right. Kissimmee.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Kissimmee.
Yeah.
I don't think it is because I'm always wrong with it.
Florida experts let us know about that pronunciation, but yeah.
The Brick Convention Orlando is in Kissimmee, and then in June, the Brick Fan Expo is at a place called Dieselland or Dezelland. It's Dezel.
Yeah.
Have you looked into that at all?
I've gotten some information. It's pretty wild already. So yeah, that's.
It looks amazing. Indoor laser tag.
Yeah, arena.
Arcade, arena, and somehow we're gonna squeeze a Lego convention inside all that. So that's gonna be awesome.
Stuff to look forward to as far as events. So very cool. But yeah, just a reminder for everyone who watched the video. It's going to be the soft opening April 1st and grand opening sometime in June, probably the first week of June, first of June. So look forward to all that. Go follow Orlando Brick Co. on all their social medias, as well as us here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll do more videos like this soon. We'll see you then.
Cool.
Bye.
Thanks, Mark.